Welcome back. Today we're going to be making the Taj Mahal. This is typically, or this class's assignments, these 20-minute daily models are supposed to be, as the name suggests, 20 minutes. I don't know if this is going to be a 20-minute model. It's probably going to be a little longer because it just seems like it's going to be tough to do all that detail. But just looking at the default cube isn't going to get us there, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is size down this default cube in the Z direction to kind of make it flat, and then we're going to make it way bigger. The Taj Mahal is on this kind of like platform, so that's what this is going to be. And we'll go something like that. Go into edit mode, take the top face, inset the top face by just a little bit, and then extrude it downwards. I think that's Control E. Or no, maybe it's Alt E. I know there's some way of doing this. Is it just like this? Yeah, I like that. We'll just go down just ever so slightly. Sweet. Okay, now we want to create the central building. So that's going to be in object mode. We're going to create another cube. This cube is going to be from the side. We want to make sure that it's elevated up, and then it's going to be pretty big. Size down at Z just a little bit. Maybe not quite that much. Something like that. I think that looks decent. I'm using like cool maps and a couple other things as references. Let's pull it up. We got this view, we got this view, we got this view. So it's not going to be perfectly to scale, but we'll see. Okay, so I think the main feature on this building is that it has these kind of 4 beveled sides, or edges, these side edges. So we're going to select each of the 4 of them, hit Control B to bevel, and then we're just going to move it in something like this. We can actually adjust the width of the bevel. I think about 0.3 is good because we want this width to be the same as a width that comes here, and then there's like a central location. What I mean by that is that you can see here we have these kind of arcs that get not extruded. What's the opposite of extruded? I don't know. It's extruded inset, I guess, but it's not just an inset. It's inset plus an extrude. Anyways, we have these faces that are inset into the Taj Mahal itself, and these come off at an angle. These come off straight, meaning like at the same angle as these big ones. But I think the width of this side is the same as the width of this side. So at least that's what I'm trying to go for roughly. So I think to do that, what we can do is we can create, let's create an edge loop maybe, 2 edge loops, or maybe we'll create one and then bevel it. So to create this edge loop and bevel it so that this width is roughly equal to that width. Let's make it slightly smaller just to do that. Maybe we'll look at like an angle that's kind of in the middle of this face and this face. I don't know. We're just freeballing here. Something like that, maybe. Maybe we should make the bevel a little smaller. Whatever. It's not a huge deal. Okay, so we have these edge loops. I kind of want to copy them over here. Actually, I wish this edge loop went all the way around. Maybe we'll do this beforehand. Okay. What we're going to do, I guess, is create the 2 edge loops first. So create one here that we're going to bevel later. In fact, we can bevel them now. So let's do this and this. I have to hit Alt while I'm selecting these to make sure we get the whole loop. And then Control B. I guess I have not selected this. Okay, I think we have everything now. Yeah, okay. So let's add this bevel. We'll make the width 0.3, I guess. No, let's make the width like 0.25. Okay. And this is the inside, so this isn't the width of the segment that's going to need to be equal to the diagonal segments. Oh, and I didn't select this. Oh my goodness. Okay, kind of I'm all over the place today. Here we go. Control B. Let's get this bevel out. Set it to 0.25 roughly. Let's select these edge loops. Not edge loops, just edges. Let's bevel those. Let's set the width to 0.25-ish. And okay, so now that I know what 0.25 looks like on this side, I think these actually should be a bit bigger. So what we'll do is, sorry, I know I'm going back and forth, but I think we can set this to like maybe 0.3. Let's see what that looks like. Let me do this real quick, just with one side, just to check. 0.25. Now, does the thickness of this look roughly equal to the thickness of this? Maybe it's a little smaller. What if we set this like 0.3? That looks pretty good. Okay, so let's make sure we're selecting all of the sides while we do this. Let's bevel, and let's go 2.3. Nice. Okay. Let's now create the insets. So to do that, go into object mode, and we need to create a new object. This is going to be a cube. Let's move it up real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to take this cube in edit mode. We're going to first shrink it along the x-axis just a little bit. Then we're going to take the top face, and we're going to extrude it upwards like that. And then we can select the edges, this edge and this edge. We'll bevel those edges. Oh, I guess I didn't select this edge. There we go. Control B to bevel. Go like this. We'll set the number of segments, so something like 16. Can set the width to 1. And now we have this kind of arc shape. That looks pretty good. All right. So we want to take this, and maybe we want to make this a little shorter. So maybe we'll take this face and move it up just a little bit. Something like that. Okay, let's take the entire object now and move it down and out. Okay, so let's look from the side. Move it in a little bit, move it down like that, and then we can move it over like that. Move it down again so that it's like on the ground, roughly. GZ, Shift Control, something like that. Why is it, wait, what am I looking at that? Oh, it's because of, there's like this little wall that we created. I forgot about that. Okay, so now that we have this, let's look from this angle. I suppose it's better if it goes slightly into the ground. We probably want to size it up a bit because I think there's 2 layers of them. If we go back to the picture just to see, yeah, there's 2 layers. Okay, so we have this now. Can move it up a little bit. Just hold shift, we'll adjust it manually. That looks pretty good. Let's duplicate and move it up. Something like that. And take both of these, duplicate, rotate around the z-axis by 90 degrees. Okay, move them along. Oh, that didn't. Okay, wait. We have the duplicated. We want to rotate it around the z-axis by 90. Hit enter. Move them along the y-axis like this. And then move them along the x-axis. We want them to to be kind of similar offset to this offset. So maybe move them a little bit over. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. That's not a huge deal. Okay, then let's duplicate them one more time. Shift D, rotate around the Z-axis by 45. I guess by 135. Okay, now let's move them. Let's look from the top, and we will move them on the x-axis like to here or so, and then the y-axis like to here or so. Maybe back to the x-axis. Let's look from the side. Okay, maybe let's go like this. Try and get it kind of centered. Okay, we have all three of these. Now I think what I want to do is join all of these into one object. Actually, before we do that, let's take this cube. Let's duplicate it and move it just off to the side so we have like a template that we can use for any other holes we're going to make. Then I want to join all of these to one object, and we want to add, I think, a subdivision surface modifier, or not subdivision surface, a Boolean that's going to be the difference between this object, the central cube, and cube 08, which is this. Is this not how I wanted to do it? I thought that's how it worked. Maybe I have to do it the other way. Let's see if we select from, oh, because that was the wrong cube, obviously. Okay, my bad. I was selecting cube 8, but that's this. This is in reality cube 4. I should just name them. I'll do that after. Boolean. Let's select this. For our object, we want to select cube 4. Keep it on difference mode. Now if we go into wireframe mode, we can see that these holes are going to be created, and that's exactly what we want. Nice. Okay. Now under this Boolean modifier, we want to make a, I want to mirror this. So I think actually if we come here and add a mirror modifier, I think the Boolean modifier will then get applied to the mirror modifier, hopefully. So we're going to mirror this around, the mirror object is going to be the central cube. Why is it not selecting? Okay, it did select. And then around both the x and y axis. Come on. There we go. And now if we go into wireframe mode, we have holes for all of those. So if we make this cube invisible, nice, we have all of those kind of indentations. That was the word I was looking for earlier. I don't know why it wasn't coming to me. Okay, so now we want to do the same thing that we did here. We can keep this as, I guess we'll keep it on invisible for now, but we might need it again at some point. We're going to take this, and then we have to make a central indentation on each of these walls. So let's take our object, let's move it in the y direction, like over here, and we're going to stretch it out in the z direction. I think it should actually be wider. I think maybe I can actually do that. Okay, so we'll keep that there for now. If we select this object and this object, which let's make visible for now, and we want to size it up in the Z direction? No, not the Z direction. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. What I was thinking I could do is kind of stretch it out. So if I added a central cut, or I think there already is a cut on this object. Yeah, these cuts, and kind of push them over to the side. But I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I'm sure it is, but okay. While we're at this, actually, let's fix the topology up here. We have these n-gons, and it's a pretty simple fix. So why not? We can just come here, do that, come here, do that, come here, do that, come here, do that. And now everything's either a trie or an n-gon. I'm not worried about the tries, that's fine. Okay, hit enter. Okay, let's take, go back to object mode, take this object, and let's stretch it, move it up a little bit first, and then stretch it along the z-axis, But then it doesn't look as nice. That's annoying. Okay, let's see. There's got to be a way to do this. Yeah, okay. I think it actually might not be that bad. Let's take this edge loop, size it along the y-axis. Oh, maybe we want everything. Size it along the y-axis. Or maybe just size it along everything but the z-axis. Something like that. Okay, and we can size this up too. Just to keep everything to scale. Now we need to take this cube that we have and also size that up amongst everything but the z-axis. Oh no, don't size that up ever, actually. We want to move it. Oh man, okay, wait, hold up. Go to wireframe mode. We want to select this, the one we can edit. Oh no. No, okay, go just in object mode. Then we go to edit mode. Okay, now we have this. And now we'll try and move it kind of outwards this way. So if we look from the top from Z, we can probably do a GX to kind of get it over here. Why is it not moving everything? Let's select it all. There we go. GX. Oh my goodness, it's real laggy. And then a GY. And we need to separate them now, I guess. Okay, what happened to the, oh my goodness, what did I do? What happened to the, oh, it's probably something with this Boolean modifier, right? Okay, go back to object mode. Take this Boolean, let's get rid of it for now. Okay, so we have this. But because oh my god, okay, this is annoying. Because it's a joined object. Is there any way to unjoin it? Maybe if I can select everything that's part of this and part of this. Shift click, hit L. We can move these along the y-axis. Like that. Okay, I think this is gonna work. Hit this, shift click this, hit L, move this along the, oh. Okay, move this along the x-axis, like that. Maybe inset them just a bit to match. And then we can select this, and this, and this, and hit L, and I don't know why it didn't select that, but let's move those. Let's look from the top. Maybe in wireframe mode. G, Y. Y. I was hitting T. G, X. Okay. Now, if we come back, they're positioned a little more nicely, and it gives us more space for this. So now we can make this Boolean modifier. So let's do that. Boolean. The object is going to be cube4. And yes. Okay. Nice. Let's hide cube4 now just so we can see this. Alright, and let's go back to cube 8. Nice. Let's go back to wireframe mode, look from the top, move it out in the x direction, like this. Look from the x direction, now size it up in every direction. Like that. And move it down. We size it up just a little more. I think in real life the heights are about the same. So I'm going to try and recreate that, but no promises. Let's try and get it centered. I think that's roughly centered. GZ. Let's size it up like that. Okay. I think that should work. Let's move it out so it doesn't inset quite as far. So it just has to go like this. All right, now we can come back to our object mode and let's mirror this. So create a mirror, and we'll mirror it along or about this object, the central cube, in both the X and Y directions. Oh, maybe Y doesn't work like that because it's already on the X-axis. How can we fix this? What if we duplicate this object, and then move the cursor to the central, like we want to rotate around the center basically. So RZ, and then 90. Oh wait. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Can I do a screw modifier? Actually, that might work. What if we add a screw modifier? This might not work. I haven't used screw many times before this, but steps. I just want one extra thing, and the axis is this angle 90. What? No, I do want it in this direction. Is it because of this? No, that just makes it straight, right? Yeah. Okay, maybe the screw modifier doesn't work for this. Could an array modifier work, maybe? If we move the array up top before the mirror, the array will be a I don't think this is gonna work. There's no rotation, right? Alright, screw it. Let's just do it manually. I'm sure this is not how you're supposed to do it, but whatever. Okay. Okay, so what we want to do is take this cube, create a duplicate of it. Let's just move it, I guess, in a little bit. And this is going to be mirrored around the y-axis, which doesn't make sense yet, but it will. Rotate Z 90, move it. Let's go in wireframe mode. Let's move it to the central y-axis, like that. Then let's look from the top and move it along the y-axis, and then now you can see the mirror in action. And then like that. And now, if we come here, we have all four of them. We can take this with our Boolean. Right now, we just have that Boolean, so let's create two more Booleans. This is going to be a difference with, okay, which cubes are what? 2 and 3. Okay, so cube 2. Oh, wait, no. This was cube 4. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Cube. I'm selecting the wrong object. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, this is cube 3. And then one more Boolean. And this is cube 4. Okay. And now if we want to check to make sure that this works, once this loads, we can go into wireframe mode, and it worked for one of them. Did I? Oh, because I did cube 4 twice instead of cube 2. Yeah, okay, now it works. Now if we go into this mode, and we can hide 2 and 3, or not 2 and 3, 2 and 1? No. Which one am I? It is 2 and 3. Which one is this? Oh, it's 8? Huh? Oh, we're just hiding all of them. Yeah, but I never did the Boolean with 8. I did the Boolean with 2 and 3. Okay, that's 2, that's 3. So where's 8? Is 8 just extra? 8 is superfluous. Okay, so if I move these over along the y-axis, it doesn't change anything. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of this mirror modifier then. It doesn't change anything here. Okay, let's move it back to the y-axis. This is just for the template's sake, to keep a template for the arcs. Okay, so we have now the outer structure. I told you this was going to take a long time. We're already at 25 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, let's create these domes now, or the central dome at least. So I'll create a cylinder and then a dome on top of it. So let's go into Blender. Let's go into, we're in object mode, create a cylinder. The radius is going to be a lot bigger. Let's make it like 3 meters maybe. Depth we can change to like 5 for now. Let's look in wireframe mode as we move this up. Maybe from the side so we have an idea of how high it goes. Something like that. Maybe we want to size it up just a little bit. Actually, I think this might be good. Because roughly how wide is this compared to it? It goes roughly the width of this. Okay, actually we want to create this too. This little extra surface that protrudes up on top of the central arc. And also these aren't perfect arcs, I'm realizing, but whatever, screw it. I'm not here to make it perfect, it's just good enough. Okay, so let's go to this object, we'll take this. Maybe we can create an edge loop. We want to take this and can we make an edge loop here? That work? Yeah, we can do that. Okay, let's do all of them at once. So, or no, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, Control R. Oh, that doesn't work. That's annoying. Okay. What? But that one works like that. That is very interesting. Okay, well maybe then let's go like this to make sure that the next loop that we make goes all the way around. Now that can go all the way around. Or wait, even better, create these loops. Because I don't want, when I create this loop, you see it's like halfway between the left and right over here, but like a quarter of the way on the front and back. I want it to be equal the whole way. So what I would like to do is maybe let's look from the top. I can take this and just go straight down in the Y direction. Yeah, the Y direction. Likewise, we'll do the same up here. Y. Okay, and same up here. Y. Here, Y. And then we can connect this in the X direction to this, and this in the X direction to this. Okay. And now, if we hit enter and try and create an edge loop, we can do, yeah, that, and that, and this, and this. And to keep decent topology, I guess what we can do is extend those out to here. So like Y, and then X, then Y, then X, and Y. Okay, same with here. X, Y, X, Y, X. Okay, hopefully those double cuts don't do anything terrible, but I'm not super worried about it. Okay, so now we have decent topology. Maybe it's not decent. Maybe a Blender expert would be yelling at me right now. Where did all the, hold up, where did all the holes go? The Booleans. Oh my god, don't tell me that the edge loops mess with those. Why? Okay, no, they're still there. It was just because I was in edit mode, I guess. I think it was just because I was in edit mode. Okay, let's go back to edit mode. Select these 4 faces and extrude them upwards. Maybe like this much. Does that seem about right? That seems about right. All right, let's take now back to object mode. Let's create a UV sphere with a radius of, what was it? Was it 3? Well, I guess we'd want it to be slightly bigger, so let's make it 4. 32 segments, I guess, is fine. Maybe it's a little heavy on the topology, but whatever. Go like that. Maybe we want it to be slightly bigger. Yeah, we want it to definitely be bigger. Okay, so let's select both of these and then size them up. Like that, maybe. Move them up just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll go into this. And if you look at the Taj Mahal, it has like this kind of structure up here, like the kind of rim to the top of the sphere that goes into the spire. Let's see, is there a good picture somewhere of it? Like this, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to add all these vertical lines, but I can add this kind of structure right there. So what I'll do is I will take a look from the side, go into wireframe mode. Maybe let's select all of these faces and move them up just a little bit. Oh, it's stretching them. Maybe extrude. Yeah, extrude in the Z direction, kind of like this. Yeah, and then we can take each of these faces. Oh no, maybe these faces. GZ. Maybe we want more edge loops here. I think we do. So let's come here, create a couple edge loops, come here, or maybe select this edge loop and bring it in. Wait, it's okay. Let's not make those edge loops quite yet. Let's select this edge loop, move it in, so size it down. This is just going to be the spire, so it can actually be pretty small. And then we can select one of these and create edge loops here. Let's create a bunch. I guess 5 seems good. Okay. Let's hit enter. And now go back into face select mode. Look from the side, and we have this kind of, it almost looks a little like concave, like it starts curving up ever so slightly. It's like a gentle curve, but it is definitely curving, and I'm not going to make this spire shape. I mean, it's just the amount of time. We're already going over by so much that I'm not going to worry about that part. Okay, so let's select these faces, or maybe these faces. Okay, get them going up a little bit. And select these faces, get them going up slightly more. And these, so slightly more. And then we'll just continue this pattern until we get this kind of curve going up. Okay, now let's select this vertice and just move it straight up in the air. Create that spire. Okay, I think that looks decent. Definitely not the most accurate of all time, but it creates that general shape that we're looking for. Okay, if we go back to our example Taj Mahal, there's a couple more pyres that come around, or not pyres, I don't know what the word would be for whatever these domes are. So let's try and create those. I'm trying to think about how to do this because these holes go all the way through. Okay, let's start by going into object mode. Call this dome. Call this one template. Call this ground. Call this Taj. Okay. So what I want to do is create a copy of this dome that we're just going to move off to the side. And all we're going to do for this dome, because I think that it is the same kind of dome shape, is just cut off the bottom. Cut off like the bottom half, maybe slightly below the bottom half. So let's look from the side, go into wireframe mode, go into edit mode, and I guess select these vertices and delete those vertices. And then we can go back into this mode and let's fill in this edge loop. 2. Okay. All right. Let's now build these spires. So I think for that spire, what we're going to want to do is make a cylinder. Cylinder, I believe, has 8 sides based off of what I was seeing. Let's now look from the top as we do this. Move it out to the side. Actually, let's move it. Is there a way to move it just, yeah, like this? Well, I want to move it diagonally. Okay, what if we do a GX 5? Okay, not 5. 10? Oh, what happened there? GX 20? Sure. GY 20? Okay, I think that looks roughly good. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't the position we wanted. We wanted it here. Okay, CZ. Okay, GX 5? Nah. GX 10? Okay, not like that. I don't know, maybe 8? GX 8? GY 8? That looks, yeah, I think that's gonna look good. Okay, now we want to look from the side, go into wireframe mode, on this side. Let's move it up, like this. Let's use our reference. Okay, I think that looks decent. Just maybe move it down just ever so slightly. And maybe size it down so that it's not interacting with this. Just, there we go, a couple clicks. And maybe we'll rotate it. Right now the vertices are facing this way. Okay, wait, maybe before we size it down. You see how the vertices are facing kind of along the axes. So we have these 2 vertices going along the x-axis, these 2 going around the y-axis. I think if we look here, it's kind of flat with respect to these axes. So we want to rotate it to get that angle fixed. I think to rotate that, if you take 1/8 of 90 degrees, oh wait, no, how do we, okay, it's rotate Z, 45 would keep it the same, 22.5 would keep it the same. I think 11.25. No, okay, never mind. Is it 22.5? Oh, yeah, it is 22.5. Okay, I did one extra mental rotation. Okay, 22.5. Looks good. Is this height roughly equal to this height in real life? It's slightly higher. So let's maybe move it up just a little bit. And let's maybe size it down just a little bit so there's no interference. Okay. So we have this, and now let's mirror it. So we have 4 of them. I guess before we mirror it, let's do the Boolean stuff, and then we can add the mirror after. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Okay, so let's take our template. Where's our template? Over here. Oh, we need to go into object mode first, select our template. We are going to want to make a copy of it. Then we move along the y-axis. Call this hold template. Okay, so what we'll do for this one is, let's look from this first, size it way down so it's about the size of that face, move it up so that it's about in line, move it over. Okay, now let's look from the side, and we want to stretch it out. So X, oh not GX, SX, stretch it out so it's wider than the cylinder. Oh, oops, that was not the cylinder. Let's move it so it's in line with the cylinder. So let's go here, GX. Okay, hold control while I'm doing this, and then shift maybe, just try and get it centered roughly. It seems roughly centered. It doesn't matter because the size of this doesn't matter as long as it's longer than the cylinder that we're cutting into. So we've created this one, and now we want to create a duplicate. A duplicate of our whole template. Just right click so it's in the same spot, rotate it around the Z axis by 45 degrees, then create another duplicate of that, right click so it's in the same spot, rotate around the Z axis by 45 degrees, one more time, create another duplicate, right click so it's in the same spot, rotate around the Z axis by 45 degrees. And now we have all of these whole templates. We can combine those together into one object. So let's shift click all of these, right click, there's a way of doing it. Okay, join, Control J. So now this all together, and we can take now our cylinder, create a modifier for it. This is going to be a Boolean modifier. I still have caps lock on. Oops. That Boolean modifier is going to be with our whole template. And now if we go to wireframe, that should mean that it's working. So if we turn off the whole template visual, we have those holes. Nice. Cool. And now we want to take our dome template that we've created. Let's create a copy of it. And let's move it along the y-axis. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and position it on top of this. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's move it along y. Okay, just try and center it ever so slightly, move it down. Let's size you way down. We want the kind of the cylinder to be in line with the top of the cylinder, the bottom of this hemisphere to be in line with the top of the cylinder. So move it along this axis, size you down like that. Move you just like that. Let's look from this side now. Move along the x-axis. Okay. So now if we go to this view, we have this dome. Oh, I guess looking from the sides is a bit, it gives you a false impression that you're covering the entire dome or the entire cylinder because of these edges. But what if we take this and shade it smooth? I guess that does help, but it doesn't actually reduce that size. So all we can do here, I mean not all we can do, just an easy fix is just to size it up until we cover that whole thing. Okay, nice. And now let's join this and this to one object, Control J. And now we want to, within this object, add a second modifier. This is going to be a mirror modifier. And that mirror modifier goes around the central object. We're choosing the dome, I guess, and in both the X and Y directions. So now we have kind of these side domes for each side. And what else is there to do? I guess there's these extra pillars that come off here. It's all about kind of how much we really want to do. Like, how much time have I taken on this already? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna finish up. I think this is a kind of good for the purposes of what I'm doing in this class. Let's hide this and hide this. In fact, we can actually get rid of this template now. Yeah, maybe not. I'm just gonna hide it. Maybe when I upload the file, I'll delete it, but we'll see. Okay, so we have all of this. Let's give it some color, I guess. Material. It's like a marbly color. We'll make the ground slightly darker, I guess. I could download a texture or whatnot, but again, I've spent enough time on this. it should be a little reflective, right? So something like this maybe for the ground. And let's create a material for the U. This one's going to be more white, maybe like this kind of white. Change the roughness to like 0.2. It's very shiny. Change the metallicity to like 0.3 or so. And then we'll copy that for this and for this. And we can take all of these objects, shade smooth, maybe shade auto smooth. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, let's apply these Boolean modifiers now. So now we can select everything that's been inset and kind of change the color just so you can, there's like a shadow or something. So we'll create a new color. That color is going to also be this material, but a copy of it, and we'll make just the darkness go up ever so slightly. And so what we're going to choose for that is let's choose this face, Control plus. Oh, okay, wait, actually, we can choose this, and then Control plus. And then can we select similar area? That works almost perfectly, but it doesn't select all of them for whatever reason. Like, why is it not selecting this wall? I don't know. That's quite annoying. Okay, there's an easier way of doing this maybe. What if we do this and this, and then select similar by area? Now does it select all of these walls? Let's just do a little rotation to make sure, and then we can do Control plus, and now we've selected all of that, and now we can assign that to our second material, our darker material. Oh, and then we didn't do this either, so let's make sure we do the same thing over here. Select similar by area. We've done that. Control plus while we're hovering over the work area or workspace, then hit assign. Get that darker color for the shadows. Looks nice. We need to apply the Boolean modifier here, I guess. Why does it not go all the way through? That's interesting. I don't think I would have even noticed it, to be honest, but now I'm interested in why that happens. It's probably because of the intersection between all of the rotated materials. Whatever. Let's go select all of these interior faces. Okay, this geometry is not ideal. Whatever. I've taken so much time on this already. I got other stuff to do today. Select this. No, don't select that. Let's go back to box select. Unselect this face. Can we then select similar? Why is this face selected? What in the world? Okay, yeah, there must be some weird stuff going on with the mirror modifier that causes that. Regardless, let's select similar by area, and that works as intended. We can then go to this material, add a second material that's going to be this material 2 we created, and assign that just to create that kind of shadow illusion. And then maybe we'll do the same thing on this object to create kind of a shadow coming from the top ball. All right, there we go. Here is our Taj Mahal. Not a ton of details, but given that this was supposed to take 20 minutes, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's frame our camera so we can get a nice shot of it. I guess the size makes it kind of prohibitive. If we want to fix that, we can take the entire thing, take literally everything and size it down. And then let's move it down. That. Now we can take our camera, and now if we move out, hopefully we won't see that clipping. Okay. And you know what? Screw it. Let's make these pillars. I was going to say no, but it kind of looks incomplete, and I don't think I'll be very happy with myself until I make them. So let's do it. I guess what we can do here it kind of pops out when we do this. So if we add a subdivision, or no, a loop. How do I do this? Maybe I'll just add cylinders in object mode. Let's create a cylinder. Keep the radius small, maybe 1. And the depth will be like 10 or so. Pretty tall. Maybe I'll make it shorter. But I think those pillars do go taller. Oh no, they don't go taller than the actual dome. So maybe not 10, maybe 5 is fine, or 6 maybe. Okay, let's move this to the side. Move it to this side. Move it up. Size down. Okay, we have this now. Let's go into edit mode, create some edge loops. Or actually, let's maybe size this down first, just along the, not the z-axis, but go like that. And maybe we can rotate around the z-axis by 2.5. And size it up. Okay, let's add some edge loops. Edit mode, 2, select edges, create edges, create edge loops. Let's do something like this. Okay, so we have the edge loops now, and we'll create a copy of, we have this object, right? Can we create a copy of that? Let's go down here. Where is it? Cylinder. Edit. Yeah, let's create a duplicate of this. Move it out here. Get rid of its mirror modifier. Actually, we don't need to get rid of its mirror modifier because we're going to mirror this anyways. So let's just position it correctly. GX. GX. GY. X. Okay, Z, like this, size it down until they match. Z. Maybe we can add clipping and clip to face. And now if we move it down, it's not snapping to this face. It's a bit annoying. I kind of want to make these two snap to each other, but I don't know how to do that. I thought that was how you do it with this. Face project, maybe? No? Alright, whatever. We'll just do it manually. GZ. Get it like that. Let's size you down just so you match up. GX. I think that's good enough. Okay. And let's look from this side and line you up here. GY. Look into these edge loops. Actually, let's take this, size you down here. Actually, okay, first take the U and Control J to join. That's the problem. Okay, what if we take just this object, rotate it around the z-axis in the 90? No, not like that. Oh, man, I wanted to... This is the one I should have aligned instead of this one. What if we just kind of do it like this instead? Y. Let's look from this side so we can be sure once we get here that it's all lined up. G, was it Y? No, it is Y. G, Y, control. Okay, here we go. Okay, now that we have this, we can join these two. All right. Let's make sure the entire color is why is it not selecting these? Okay. All right, we have this now. I think I want to kind of size down some of these, because in real life, you can see that it's kind of tapered inwards. And then we have these extrusions every so often. I don't know if I'll make the extrusions, but let's see. So what we can do is we can take, all right, let's go into wireframe mode, select all of this, size it down, or I guess, okay, let's start from the top and we'll do it one at a time. So like size this down a little bit, and then take all of this, size this down a little bit, and all of this. Okay, maybe we're doing this too much at one time. Let's do it the opposite way. This, size down a little bit. This, size down a little bit. This, and this. Something like that. And then maybe we can create edge loops here. And that we will bevel. Why is there so many cuts in this bevel? Just want one. And then we can size that up, or just, I guess, extrude it outwards. How do I thought there's a way to extrude it along normals, but it doesn't appear to be. Is it Control E? Let's select this edge loop. Now can we do it? Okay, now we can do it. Okay, let's look from the side and do the same thing here. Something like that. Then select this edge loop using face select and extrude faces along normal. Like that. And then we'll do it one more time down here. And then I'll be done. Okay, do that. Bevel. I should be choosing the same size for all of these, but well, what the hell. Okay, extrude face along normal. And here we go. We are done. Look at that. I guess to complete this, we now need to worry about the camera. What is going on here? Why is my camera like zoomed into the top left? Huh? That's weird. Anyways, this should be fine. Let's go like this or something. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's not a ton of texture here, but if I had more time, I would add it. I just don't. So let's take our light. Where is our light? Along the y-axis. I honestly just don't see it. Let's just delete the light in this case. Or wait, no. There it is. Let's turn it into a sun. Make it strength 10. Have it come from the direction of the camera and point it towards. Maybe let's have it even further back so we can get these shadows. Kind of like that. And maybe if we go to our renderer, okay, right now it's 16. I think when we render it'll be 64. Does that make the shadows look a little better? Oh my goodness. The reason this is happening is because we hid stuff not within the render, just in the viewport. So if we do all of this, now I think, there we go. We have our Taj Mahal with a couple of nice shadows. Shadows aren't the best, but what can you do? Maybe if we increase the samples like 256 or something. Does that make the shadows better? Yeah, there we go. Nice. All right, that was definitely the longest video I've ever made, but hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, but regardless, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.